The night sky above the Mauna Kea Observatory sparkled with countless stars as Dr. Marcus Reed hunched over his computer terminal. The room was silent except for the soft hum of equipment and the occasional click of his keyboard. For 3 nights straight, the same unusual pattern had appeared in his data. "There it is again," he muttered, rubbing his tired eyes. The signal originated from a distant star system nearly 40 light-years away. At first, Marcus had dismissed it as random cosmic noise, but its regularity was impossible to ignore. It pulsed with mathematical precision, too precise to be natural. He reached for his phone and dialed his colleague. "John, I need you to verify something." Within an hour, the observatory's small team gathered around Marcus's terminal, their faces illuminated by the blue glow of the screen. "See this pattern? It repeats exactly every 17.3 seconds, Marcus explained, pointing to the waveform. "Natural phenomena don't behave this way." John Barnes, the observatory's senior technician, leaned forward. "Could be equipment malfunction." "I've already ruled that out," Marcus replied. "And look here, embedded within the signal are mathematical sequences. Prime numbers, followed by what appears to be more complex information." Dr. Lisa Park, a specialist in signal analysis, examined the data. "We need to alert the International Astronomical Union immediately." This could be it. Within 48 hours, observatories across the globe confirmed Marcus's findings. The signal was real, and it was artificial. Humanity had discovered proof of intelligent alien life. The world's governments tried to keep the news contained while experts analyzed the signal's contents. But in the age of global information, such secrets couldn't be kept for long. A junior researcher leaked the discovery online, and panic spread rapidly. What the public didn't know, what only a small team of military cryptographers discovered, was that the signal contained more than just mathematical sequences. Hidden within the complex patterns were detailed formations, movement strategies, and what appeared to be tactical approaches. General William Harris of the United Earth Defense Council reviewed the decrypted information in a secure underground facility. "These aren't greetings," he stated grimly to the assembled officials. "These are battle plans." The room fell silent. "How certain are you?" asked the council chairwoman. "The patterns match known military formations too precisely to be coincidence," replied Colonel James Turner, head of signal intelligence. "Our AI analysis gives a 94% probability that these are invasion coordinates targeting Earth." Within days, world leaders assembled at a classified location. For the first time in human history, all major nations united under a single threat. "We have 3 options," General Harris explained. "First, we can ignore the signal and hope they're friendly. Second, we can prepare as best we can with our current technology. Or third," he paused, looking around the room, "we can show them what we've been hiding." The room erupted in whispers. The Secretary General raised her hand for silence. "What exactly have we been hiding, General?" Harris nodded to his aide, who distributed sealed folders to everyone present. "For the past 70 years, various governments have captured and reverse-engineered alien technology from scout ships that crashed on Earth. We've kept this information compartmentalized, with no single nation knowing the full extent of our advancements." Screens around the room displayed images of underground facilities, strange aircraft, and weapons unlike anything publicly known. "We are not defenseless," Harris continued. "In fact, we may be the first species they've encountered that saw them coming and prepared accordingly." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. "Then perhaps," said the Secretary General, "it's time we send them a message of our own." General Thomas Stone walked with purpose through the underground bunker, his footsteps echoing against steel walls. Behind him followed world leaders and top military officials, their faces grim with newfound knowledge. "This facility has existed since 1947, Stone explained, gesturing around the vast chamber. "Built after the first confirmed crash in Roswell." The group stopped before a massive vault door. Stone pressed his palm against a scanner, and with a hiss of air, The door swung open. Inside lay technology that defied conventional understanding. Gentlemen, ladies, what you're about to see has been Earth's most closely guarded secret for over 7 decades. The chamber contained the remains of 3 different alien craft, partially disassembled, with human engineers working methodically around them. Scientists in lab coats moved between workstations, examining materials unknown to public science. After Roswell, we detected and intercepted 6 more scout ships over the next 20 years, Stone continued. Each nation that captured one kept it secret, even from allies. It wasn't until 1985 that a small group realized we were all hiding pieces of the same puzzle. He led them to a display case containing what appeared to be weapons. These were recovered from the 3rd scout ship, plasma-based technology that could cut through our strongest armor like paper. The Russian president stepped forward. How many nations have been part of this conspiracy? 13 originally, Stone replied. Now 27. Each contributed resources and knowledge while maintaining plausible deniability. Dr. Eliza Morgan, a small woman with intense eyes, joined the group. The real breakthrough wasn't just in technology, she said, pulling up holographic displays. It was understanding their psychology. The displays showed biological data and brain scans of creatures not from Earth. We captured 2 living specimens in 1993, Morgan explained. They survived for 3 weeks. In that time, we learned they communicate partially through telepathy, which explained why their ships had minimal control interfaces. And more importantly, Stone added, we learned they considered humans primitive and harmless. Their mission reports, which we partially decoded, described Earth as ripe for future harvesting, but currently too undeveloped to pose any threat. The Chinese premier narrowed his eyes. So we let them believe this. Exactly, Stone nodded. While publicly our technology advanced along expected paths, secretly we incorporated their science into weapons systems no one would expect us to have. He led the group deeper into the facility, where a hangar door opened to reveal fighter craft unlike any known models. These don't use jet propulsion. They use gravitational manipulation. We have 50 squadrons hidden in bases around the world. Their existence is known only to pilots trained to fly them, and the engineers who maintain them. The UK Prime Minister shook her head in disbelief. How have you kept this secret for so long? Compartmentalization, Dr. Morgan answered. No one person knew everything. Plus, we released just enough UFO disinformation to make the whole subject seem ridiculous to the public. General Stone stopped before a final door. This is why we're confident we can defend ourselves. The door opened to reveal a massive globe of Earth dotted with thousands of small lights. Each light represents a defensive installation with alien-derived technology. Orbital platforms disguised as satellites. Underground bases. Underwater facilities. We are not the helpless planet they believe us to be. And the signal we received? Asked the Secretary General. It confirms what we've long suspected, Stone replied. They're coming in force now, not just scouts. But they expect to find a planet of relatively primitive humans who have no idea they exist. He smiled grimly. They're in for quite a surprise. Dr. Morgan stepped forward. We've prepared for this moment for generations. Now it's time to let them know. Jack Torres wiped sweat from his brow as he made final adjustments to the massive transmission array. For 3 days straight, he had worked with barely any sleep, fueled by black coffee and the knowledge that humanity's future might depend on his success. Power levels stable, reported his assistant. The modified quantum amplifiers are holding. Jack nodded, his fingers flying over the control panel. Good. We'll only get one shot at this. If the alignment is off by even a fraction, the message won't reach the target system with enough clarity. The United Earth Council had tasked Jack with an impossible job: to create a communication system powerful enough to send a clear message across 40 light-years of space. Conventional radio waves would take decades to arrive, and by then, it would be too late. Using their own technology against them, Jack muttered with grim satisfaction. His team had adapted the propulsion system from a captured alien scout ship into a communication device that could theoretically transmit through the same dimensional shortcuts the aliens used for travel. In a secure room 5 levels above the transmission array, Dr. Morgan and General Stone met with representatives from every major world government. The message they were about to send had been debated for 48 hours straight, with each word carefully chosen. "We can't appear weak," argued the Russian representative. "But if we seem too aggressive, we might provoke an immediate attack." Dr. Morgan nodded. "The psychological profile we've developed suggests they respect strength, but are cautious when confronted with unexpected resistance. Our message needs to surprise them without seeming like an empty threat." The final text appeared on screens around the room. It was accompanied by carefully selected images and data that would leave no doubt about humanity's capabilities. "Transmission ready," Jack's voice announced over the speakers. "We can begin on your command." General Stone looked to the Secretary General, who took a deep breath and nodded. "Send it." Deep below, the transmission array hummed to life. The repurposed alien technology glowed with an unearthly blue light as energy levels climbed toward maximum. Jack watched nervously as Goges approached the red line. "Holding steady," he reported. "Beginning transmission in 3, 2, 1. A pulse of energy shot upward through specialized conduits, focused by satellite arrays in orbit, and then disappeared into what appeared to be a small tear in the fabric of space itself. Across the vast emptiness between stars, traveling through shortcuts in space-time, humanity's message raced toward its target. The message began with universal mathematical constants to establish intelligence, followed by a simple greeting in multiple formats. Then came the real substance. Detailed schematics of captured alien ships, footage of human pilots operating advanced craft reverse-engineered from alien technology, images of weapons systems specifically designed to counter known alien capabilities, a comprehensive map showing Earth's global defense network, video of previous alien scout ships being successfully intercepted and disabled. The message concluded with a simple statement, translated into what their linguists believed was the aliens' own language. "We have been aware of your existence for 74 Earth years. We have studied your technology, your biology, and your tactics. We have prepared accordingly. We are not the defenseless species you believe us to be. We prefer peaceful contact between our civilizations, but we are fully prepared for alternatives. The choice is yours. We are ready, and we are waiting." As the transmission completed, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. "What's happening?" demanded General Stone. Jack's voice came through, tense but controlled. "Sir, we're detecting a response already. They must have had ships much closer than we thought." "How close?" Dr. Morgan asked, her face pale. "Based on signal strength, they're at the edge of our solar system." General Stone's jaw tightened. "Sound the alert. All defense systems online. Now we see if our message worked, or if we just started a war." 2 weeks passed without any response from the alien armada. Earth's defense systems remained at full alert, the strain visible on the faces of military personnel worldwide. Professor Diana Wells hunched over her workstation in the London Observatory, dark circles under her eyes. Her breakthrough in tracking quantum disturbances had made her suddenly invaluable to the United Earth Council, where conventional radar and telescopes saw nothing. Her detection system could trace the subtle ripples in spacetime created by alien propulsion technology. "They're still there," she muttered, adjusting the sensitivity on her instruments. "Not advancing, not retreating. Just watching." Her assistant, Robert, handed her a fresh cup of tea. "Perhaps they're intimidated by our message." Diana shook her head. "A species capable of interstellar travel doesn't scare easily. They're analyzing us, calculating probabilities, deciding whether we're bluffing." She pointed to the display showing multiple clusters of disturbances throughout the solar system. "See these patterns? They'd spread out, positioning ships at strategic points. Classic encirclement tactics. Across the globe, humanity waited, Public knowledge of the situation had caused initial panic, followed by a strange, resigned calm. People continued their daily lives with one eye on the sky, wondering if each day might be Earth's last. In Washington, D.C., General Stone and Dr. Morgan met with the Defense Council in a room deep underground. "We've successfully activated 94% of our defense grid," reported Colonel Turner. "The remaining 6% are older installations requiring physical upgrades to connect with the network." "And our offensive capabilities?" asked the Secretary General. General Stone pulled up a holographic display of the solar system. "Our orbital platforms are fully operational. The lunar base has all 12 gravity cannons ready. The Mars outpost reports their shield generators are functioning at optimal levels." "What about civilian protection?" a representative from India questioned. Dr. Morgan touched her tablet, bringing up a new display. "Underground shelters can now accommodate 43% of the global population. Not ideal, but significant improvement from 3 weeks ago." A sudden alert interrupted the meeting. Diana Wells appeared on the main screen, her expression tense. "We have movement," she announced. "A single vessel has broken formation from the main fleet." General Stone leaned forward. "Hostile approach?" "Negative," Diana replied. "Slow, deliberate course. They're broadcasting some kind of signal on multiple frequencies." "A reply to our message," Dr. Morgan suggested. "Possible, but the pattern doesn't match communication protocols we've observed before." "Wait." Diana paused, her eyes widening. "The signature matches known diplomatic approaches from our historical records. They're sending an emissary." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. "How long until they reach Earth?" asked the Secretary General. "At current velocity, 18 hours, Diana replied. General Stone straightened his uniform. "Then we have 18 hours to prepare a reception, one that shows both our peaceful intentions and our strength." "Is this a genuine diplomatic gesture?" asked the French representative, "or a closer approach for attack?" "Unknown," Diana admitted, "but they're making no attempt to conceal their approach. Their shields appear lowered. All signs point to a genuine diplomatic contact." "Or an extremely confident show of force," Colonel Turner added grimly. Dr. Morgan stood, commanding attention. "Whether this is diplomacy or intimidation, our response must be measured. We show respect without showing fear. We demonstrate capability without threatening aggression." The Secretary General nodded. "Prepare landing protocols. Alert Commander Rivera to assemble the first contact team." She looked around the room solemnly. "Humanity has faced many turning points in its history. This may be the most significant one yet." As the meeting adjourned, Diana's voice came through once more. "Update. We have visual confirmation of the approaching vessel." The screen changed to show an elegant craft unlike the utilitarian scout ships they had captured before. It gleamed in the sunlight, its design suggesting both beauty and deadly efficiency. General Stone studied the image. "Now we see who we're really dealing with." Commander Alex Rivera stood motionless on the desert landing site, the hot wind ruffling his dress uniform. Behind him, a carefully selected team of soldiers, scientists, and diplomats waited with varying degrees of tension visible on their faces. Miles away, hidden in mountains and underground bunkers, Earth's most advanced weapons remained locked on the approaching ship, ready to fire at his command. 2 minutes to atmospheric entry, a voice reported through his earpiece. Alex had been chosen for this role because of his unflappable calm and extensive background in both military operations and diplomatic protocol. 20 years in special forces followed by 5 years in international peacekeeping missions had prepared him for almost anything, except, perhaps, for meeting an alien from a civilization capable of destroying his planet. "Remember," Dr. Morgan's voice came through his earpiece, "maintain eye contact if they have eyes. Show respect but not submission. Their psychology seems to value strength and directness." Alex gave a slight nod. The briefing had been thorough. Everything humanity had learned about the aliens from captured scouts and analyzed transmissions had been condensed into protocols for this meeting. A streak of light appeared in the sky, growing larger as it descended. Unlike human spacecraft, this vessel made almost no sound as it approached. It simply pushed the air aside, creating only a soft displacement whistle. The alien ship was smaller than expected, perhaps twice the size of a commercial airliner. Its surface shimmered with a material that seemed to absorb and reflect light simultaneously, making it difficult to focus on directly. With impossible precision, it touched down 50 meters from the human delegation, stirring up minimal dust despite the desert location. For nearly a minute, nothing happened. Then, a section of the hull simply dissolved, revealing an opening. A tall figure emerged and walked slowly toward the humans. The alien stood over 7 feet tall, with a frame that suggested both strength and agility. Its skin had a bluish-gray tone that shifted slightly with movement, almost like liquid metal. 4 arms emerged from a torso protected by what appeared to be ceremonial armor. The face was almost human-like, with 2 large eyes that reflected light like black apples. Alex stepped forward, alone, as planned. "On behalf of Earth and humanity, I welcome you to our world," he said clearly, making the universal greeting gesture they had determined from historical records. Open palms, arms slightly extended. The alien stopped 3 meters away. When it spoke, the sound seemed to come from everywhere at once, a harmonic resonance that Alex felt in his chest as much as heard with his ears. "I am Krell, emissary of the Galactic Confederation. I speak with the authority of the High Council." A translator device at Alex's belt processed the sounds, converting them to English with barely a delay. "I am Commander Alexander Rivera, appointed representative of the United Earth Council." Krell tilted his head slightly. "Your message was unexpected. In 10,000 cycles, no emerging world has ever detected our presence before official first contact." Alex maintained a neutral expression. "We've been aware of your observation for some time." "So it seems." Krell's upper arms made a gesture that suggested mild amusement. "The Confederation has encountered many species across many galaxies. Our standard protocol is to evaluate emerging civilizations for potential threat levels and neutralize those deemed dangerous." Alex finished for him. Krell's eyes narrowed, the black pools seeming to deepen. "You have captured our scouts. We prefer to think of it as collecting evidence of uninvited visitors." For a moment, tension crackled between them. Then Krell made a sound that might have been a laugh. "The Confederation has conquered worlds with technology far beyond what your planet should possess. Yet your message indicated capabilities that, if true, would make invasion costly." "Very costly," Alex confirmed. "Perhaps prohibitively so." Krell stepped forward, moving with fluid grace. "My mission is to determine if your claims are genuine, or if you are simply clever with deception." Alex met the alien's gaze steadily. "We would be happy to provide a demonstration." "I expected nothing less," Krell replied. "The Confederation respects strength. If you possess what you claim, our relationship will be reassessed." Alex nodded toward the waiting vehicles. "Then let us begin that reassessment immediately." As they walked side by side toward the transport, Alex sent a single-word text through his secure communicator. "Proceed." The convoy of black vehicles moved swiftly across the desert toward a mountain range that appeared solid and uninhabited. Krell sat opposite Commander Rivera, 4 arms folded in what seemed to be a posture of patience. Neither had spoken much during the journey. "We are approaching the first demonstration site," Alex finally said as the mountains grew closer. Krell's opal eyes gleamed. "Your message claims significant defensive capabilities. I am curious to see if reality matches your transmission." "We thought you might be," Alex replied with a slight smile. As they approached what appeared to be a sheer cliff face, the rock wall suddenly shimmered and disappeared, revealing a massive hangar carved into the mountain. The vehicles drove inside, where rows of aircraft unlike any publicly known human design stood in perfect formation. General Stone was waiting as they exited the vehicles. "Welcome to Sierra Base, one of our smaller facilities." "Smaller," Krell noted, observing the vast space. "One of 50 similar installations worldwide," Stone confirmed. "This one specializes in aerial combat systems." They walked past aircraft that clearly incorporated alien technology, with modifications and improvements that even Krell seemed to find surprising. Engineers and pilots snapped to attention as the group passed. "These craft use principles derived from your propulsion systems," Dr. Morgan explained as she joined the tour. "But we've solved the radiation issue that plagued your earlier models." Krell's head turned sharply. "You examined our technology that thoroughly." "We had adequate time," Morgan replied calmly. 70 years provides ample opportunity for reverse engineering." They continued to a sealed chamber where a transparent barrier separated them from what appeared to be a weapons testing range. "Perhaps a practical demonstration," General Stone suggested. At his signal, one of the modified fighters powered up, its engines emitting only a soft hum instead of the roar of conventional jets. It rose smoothly and hovered before accelerating to incredible speed, then stopping instantly without momentum effects. "Impressive maneuverability," Krell acknowledged. "But speed and agility alone do not win conflicts." "Of course not," Dr. Morgan agreed. "Jack, would you show our guest the defensive capabilities?" Jack Torres emerged from a control room and nodded, activating target drones and weapon systems. On the range, automated defense systems fired energy weapons similar to those found on alien scout ships. The fighter activated a shield that absorbed the blasts completely. "You've mastered our shield technology," Krell observed. "Improved it." "Actually," Jack corrected, "your systems couldn't handle sustained bombardment. Ours can." The demonstration continued with increasingly powerful weapons, each one countered effectively by the human craft. When the final test began, the fighter fired a weapon of its own, a beam of concentrated energy that cut through targets designed to mimic alien ship materials. Krell's posture had grown increasingly tense. "These capabilities exceed what should be possible given your planet's technological timeline." "We're quick learners," Alex stated simply. From there, they traveled to an underground command center where General Stone displayed a global map dotted with thousands of defensive positions. "Our planetary shield network can be fully activated within 3 minutes," he explained. "Each node operates independently but functions as part of a cohesive defensive grid." "And offensive capabilities?" Krell asked quietly. Dr. Morgan touched a control panel, bringing up specifications for weapons designed specifically to target weaknesses in alien technology. "We studied the biological samples from your captured scouts," she explained. "Your species has excellent vision, but particular sensitivity to certain frequencies. Your ship materials have remarkable strength but specific resonance vulnerabilities. You designed weapons around our weaknesses," Krell concluded. "Just as you would have done to us," Alex noted. "The difference is, we had time to prepare while you believed us ignorant." Jack activated a final display showing orbital platforms positioned throughout the solar system. "Early warning systems, defensive arrays, and if necessary, first strike capabilities," he explained. "All hidden in plain sight, disguised as communications satellites or research stations." Krell stood silently for a long moment, eyes moving from one display to another. Finally, the alien touched a device on its armor. "High Council, this is Emissary Krell. We must reconsider our approach to Earth. Their capabilities are significant. Recommend immediate diplomatic recalibration." The room fell silent as everyone waited for the response that would determine humanity's fate. 3 months after Krell's visit, Dr. Marcus Reed stood on the observation deck of Earth's first official interstellar embassy. Through the massive viewport, he watched shuttles moving between the large alien vessels and the newly constructed orbital platform. Each ship bore the insignia of the Galactic Confederation, once a symbol that struck fear, now a mark of cautious diplomatic relations. "Still hard to believe, isn't it?" General Stone said, moving to stand beside him. Marcus nodded. From potential invasion to trade negotiations in less than a year. Not how I expected first contact to go when I detected that signal. Below them, in the main conference chamber, representatives from Earth met with delegates from 12 different Confederation species. The formal signing of the non-aggression treaty would begin in an hour, followed by preliminary trade agreements. "Krell is asking for you," Dr. Morgan said, approaching the two men. "The Confederation Council apparently has questions about how you first detected their transmission." Marcus smiled. "They still can't accept that we spotted them so easily." "Their mistake was underestimating us," General Stone remarked. "They've done this hundreds of times before. Scout a planet, determine its threat level, then either conquer or establish controlled contact. We were the first to flip the script on them," Dr. Morgan added. They'd made their way to a smaller meeting room where Krell waited with two other alien representatives. The emissary had become a familiar figure over the past months, though no less imposing. "Dr. Reed," Krell greeted him, "your discovery has changed the standard protocols of the Confederation. A significant achievement." Marcus nodded respectfully. Sometimes being underestimated is an advantage. "Indeed." Krell gestured to the star chart displayed on the table. "The High Council has approved your species for Class 1 diplomatic status. Only 17 other species hold such rank." Commander Rivera, who had been quietly observing from the corner, stepped forward. "And the terms of this status: full autonomy of your solar system, trade rights with all Confederation worlds, access to the Galactic Library, and most importantly, recognition of Earth as a sovereign power rather than a potential client state." The human representatives exchanged glances. This was more than they had hoped for. In return, General Stone asked cautiously, "Joint defense initiatives against genuine threats to galactic stability, cultural exchange, and agreement not to use your unique defensive innovations against Confederation worlds." Jack Torres, who had been analyzing the proposed treaty for technical loopholes, nodded slightly to Rivera. The terms were clean. "The Confederation has existed for 12,000 years, Krell continued. "In that time, we have encountered over 400 intelligent species, none prepared for us as humans did. We've always been a cautious species," Marcus said. "Not cautious," Krell corrected. "Ingenious. You used our own reconnaissance against us. You studied our technology and improved upon it. You presented strength without direct provocation." Dr. Morgan smiled. "We prefer to avoid conflicts when possible. Yet you prepare for them thoroughly," Krell observed. "The Confederation values this approach. Many of our members join through conquest. Earth joins through mutual respect." As they moved toward the main chamber for the signing ceremony, Marcus paused at the viewport for one last look at the Earth below. Blue oceans, swirling clouds, continents dotted with lights. Home, now known to the galaxy not as an easy target, but as a world that had earned its place among the stars. "What happens next?" he asked quietly. Commander Rivera stood beside him. "We explore, we learn, we trade, and we maintain everything that brought us to this point. Trust, but verify," General Stone added with a slight smile. From across the room, Krell watched the humans with those inscrutable opal eyes. "Your species has an expression I've recently learned," the alien said, "about the quiet ones being the most dangerous when provoked." Dr. Morgan nodded. "The quiet ones are the ones you need to watch." "The Confederation will be watching," Krell agreed. "But now, as allies rather than observers. The galaxy has become more interesting with humanity's emergence." As the Earth delegation took their places for the historic signing, Marcus thought about that night in the observatory when he first detected the signal. How one discovery had revealed not only alien life, but humanity's hidden strength, a strength built through decades of secret preparation for this very moment. Humanity had sent its warning. The stars had heard. And now, a new chapter was beginning.